Hey, let's talk about how you're making it harder than it needs to be to make great content for your brand and how you can stop doing that today. Have you ever been speaking to a group of people, it could be small, could be big, and you are just spitting fire, you're riffing and you're feeling that great connection. People are maybe laughing or it looks like they're moved by what you're saying and it just feels amazing. And then all of a sudden, you kind of venture off a little bit or you continue to talk and you notice eyes start kind of darting around. The connection is no longer there. And if you're anything like me, it can feel a little bit like, just like does not feel good. I want to share two stories where I have really experienced what I'm about to say kind of come into effect. When I was a restaurant manager, and then I actually also do trivia hosting as kind of a side thing. But they showed something really, really critical. With the restaurant management, when I got into it, it was very, very difficult. I would conduct these things called a pre-shift meeting. And if you've ever been in a restaurant, you've probably been in these, but it's basically like a very short, maybe like 15 minutes would be a long one. It should really be more closer to 5 to 10 minutes. And I would have a very difficult time, I feel like. I would have to be speaking to about 30 people before their shift started, pre-shift. And I would feel kind of defeated going away from them because, yeah, it's a 5 to 10 minute meeting, but it's kind of, in your mind, you're thinking about like starting off your shift on the right foot versus starting it off on kind of a down note or, not that great of not that inspirational or confidence inspiring. As a trivia host, I'm speaking for about 2.5 hours. And when I say speaking, I'm reading from a piece of paper and I am reading off the questions and then reading off the answers. And then a lot of time there's a little bit of room for ad lib kind of in between the questions. And I'll make, some sort of like pun or joke about the question or culture or whatever. And that was also something that I would kind of experience this disconnection from the people that I am speaking with. That can feel really exhausting when you're just giving and there's no like reciprocation from the audience or like the people that you're speaking with. Recently, I had a conversation or kind of more like an interview with my father-in-law. He has done teaching in the public school system in Austin for his entire career and actually just recently graduated or retired from that. In the conversation, it definitely helped me to connect some dots. Now, this is a guy who himself has had to kind of learn how to wrangle a room of elementary kids. Maybe you're watching this video and you own a business or you're super influential or you want to be super influential and you're thinking, well, how would this apply to me? And I think the part where I want you to hear this is realize this is a guy who has watched many teachers figure out how to do this, try, fail, and succeed. One of the biggest things I think I got in the midst of the conversation was this idea of talking about things that you're not an expert about. Or to put it a different way, if somebody is listening to you expecting there to be expertise on a certain topic and you're not talking about that topic, then that's a big red flag. Now, you can be an expert in basically anything, but what I'm trying to convey to you is what are you an expert in and what are also people expecting you to be an expert in. If you're a comedian, then you should have a level of expertise in comedy. If you're positioning yourself as a pool technician, then definitely expect for people to be looking at you more as a pool technician than as a acrobat. Sorry, that's like super out there, but this is, I think, sometimes what we can struggle with. Going back to the two stories that I mentioned earlier with being the restaurant manager and then being a trivia host, this is two areas where I've really, really seen this principle actually be super powerful. As a restaurant manager, I actually began to realize that as simple as it might sound, the most important information that I had to relay to my staff was updates on the menu, was updates on the wait list, how many people were waiting to get into the restaurant, was updates on the floor chart, who had what tables, was updates on we don't have this amount of cooks tonight, or we do have this amount of cooks, or we just rolled out this new item. It was okay for me to develop relationship, develop rapport, and as I went on, I would find that I had more ability to kind of joke around or introduce, little comedy bits. But the primary focus of what that meeting was for, and this might sound silly, but I want you to think about your social media presence. If you're a clothing company or if you are a makeup influencer, just realize what have you positioned yourself as, and then make sure that you deliver on that specific thing. If you're saying that you are an expert about something or you have something to say about something, then talk about that and expect that people are going to expect to hear about what you say you're going to talk about. As a trivia host, one thing I learned is that people are there primarily for trivia. They're not generally coming as much for me. Now, that would be a huge compliment, and that would be so encouraging if people did enjoy my hosting so much or enjoyed the way I did things that they were coming for me. That would be amazing. Now, that said, if I'm really bad and I'm doing a really bad job, people will leave. Yeah, absolutely. I can be so annoying that they just don't feel like that they even want to be there. The primary focus is not on my ability to entertain, but is on the material that I am reading from. I can do that in an entertaining way, but if you get this shift there, I'm not entertaining with trivia, I'm doing trivia with entertainment. And that mindset with the trivia has ensured that my focus is now primarily on getting the trivia material to the people who have come there for that, which that might sound basic, but it then informs every choice I make. Enunciating correctly, making sure that I'm communicating to the people that are there that I really appreciate that they are there. And then in between the cracks and as a supplement, as a spice, as something to add a little extra, I add jokes. And often the jokes perform well and sometimes they don't perform well. But the thing is it's okay. I can fall back on the material, on the thing that I am there to do. To bring it all home, to content creation. What are you an expert in? What is it that you have something to say about? If you are a business that makes shoes, how can you connect your expertise to your potential customer base and bring the passion and the understanding that you have about this thing and deliver it in a way that if somebody has a little bit of interest in how to make shoes or leather or shoelaces, that when they see you, they listen to you, they see the fire in your eyes, and then they also hear you informing them about the thing that they have some level of interest in, that you have the information they need to hear. It will take so much pressure off of you, and the people that are interested in the topic, brand, service, philosophy, whatever you have that you are passionate about, those people that are interested in that will be able to so much more easily associate you as the person who is trusted and is credible because you are sharing about that thing. You're not just telling a bunch of random jokes. You're not wasting their time by talking about something that maybe you're not an expert in or something that they weren't looking to you to talk about. Hope this helps. Make sure to watch The Art of Connection for more amazing tips on how to connect with your audience, given to me by some people who are powerfully connecting with their audiences. Hope you have a great day.